Okay, so welcome. We're going to do some analysis today on the NQ, a small bit of the ES. It is, what is it, Tuesday the 15th of October. I didn't make any video yesterday, I felt a bit sick. And on Friday I was talking about how I was cautious. I'm cautious of the PA that we're in and that we've been setting up. Now, I know I said that around here. We got some resistance internally on the NQ, but yesterday they just pushed right up and filled that RTH gap, 50%, which is fair. I mean, I knew it was something that could happen. I didn't think they would do it so, I think, like, matter-of-factly, but they did it. I still have my worries about what we're leaving below us. It's just so open, and we're getting a lot of signs of potential, like, exhaustion soon, on both the NQ and the ES. I mentioned at the end of my video last Friday that the weekly and daily money flow on the ES is looking potentially dangerous. Now, money flow, I suppose, is thick enough that they could keep this going. Like the weekly is in an area where if they wanted to, they could really push it up. But I'm seeing signs of potential exhaustion coming in, and especially with the NQ and what we've built below us. It's just something to be aware of, you know. A lot of the moves recently have seemed pretty emotionally driven, and yeah, I'm just cautious that there are signs mounting that we could get a very deep retracement at some stage. But let's look at what's happening right now. So we had yesterday, the US had bank holiday. They still push it up, and this giving me kind of short squeeze vibes. They came into a nice little block, 24-minute block. Had it marked out here. Came into a breaker as well. We rejected, and then took liquidity on the push up, and then kind of started ranging here. Today, we had Asia kind of creating this liquidity curve, as it does, with this unmitigated block above it. And as we know, these highs and lows like to get taken, right? There was a change of character here. Just came into bigger structure. I don't mind this area for internal longs. We have 7-minute block down here. Price can come all the way into this block, and still get pushes up internally, right? Sydney's high looked pretty good. Asia took internal liquidity and then pushed down. And actually on the ES, Tokyo took Sydney's high, which is rather interesting. Normally when that happens, I feel it indicates that Sydney's high, Sydney's area wasn't as strong as we were let on. And both of Sydney's extremities have been taken. And now the only kind of traditional target based on session liquidity that's left to go for is this high area. And on the ES, this isn't looking insanely strong. It's building a very obvious curve here. Now, whether we come deeper into this structure before attacking this, I don't know. Yesterday was a bank holiday in Asia and the the US, and they just slowly grinded it up. And there is a lot of pockets of liquidity down here that we could come into pretty easily, maybe on US Open or US session. This whole area here is looking weak. If we break structure down, I would imagine this would get taken. This consolidation might provide a bit of support. We have areas around here. We have a point of control around here, and an RTH gap that was made that could give us some internal play. High volume node around here. We could find some support here. I don't know how long it would last though. We got the reaction off the RTH gap, and maybe an internal push to take liquidity and then come down for US is on the cards, perhaps. Like zooming out, it's really hard to ignore all the liquidity that we've built up. We have a gap down here and a gap here, and we just took our biggest gaps 50%. Remember the last time we took a 50% was down here. Put inducement above it, and then came down, took it, and then pushed up, right? So internal retracements definitely could happen, definitely. So just keeping an eye on this, right? When we lose this range, whatever we're doing inside here, if we take this first or not, I don't know. But whenever we do lose this, I feel like pushing down deeper into this structure here could be on the cards. So immediately, what am I looking at? Well, there's a chance that UK pushes up from here, I think. We did tap into this block. Now, whether they decide to just bring it down, break structure, and kind of range around here until US, don't know. We'll just have to see. But I like the idea of coming for this during UK. Kind of like it, even though it was a change of character. We came straight into this bullish kind of source right here, and yeah, it's kind of a high volume node area, right? More of a volume gap. So the tap of this area down here, and this last structural point that I've marked that was external liquidity was taken into, could provide a catalyst for us to come back up to the value area high of this range, right? But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. You know, maybe this liquidity grab was enough for them to keep going down. I don't know, but I do think that yeah, taking the Asians' liquidity is something that could be on the cards. So yeah, I guess, I mean, like it's very briefly, that's what I'm seeing. This area here, both on the ES and on the NQ, doesn't look very strong. And we could take this high and then create the bearish structure, right? We could come up, take this high. NQ is kind of harder to understand inherently because it's in price discovery, but like, my God, like they're really playing with longs at the moment, I think. Just be careful up here, I think. If you're taking anything, make sure it's very much internal based, you know, internally driven biases and TA, because this is it just seems a bit sensitive, right? When we do come down here, I think that this whole push up is going to get eaten. I don't know if we're going to do that. I don't know when we're going to do that. They're definitely on a hunt at the moment, and you know, we technically broke structure here, but I'm just very cautious of this this bearish area that we're coming into, and the implications of it, because we can retrace hard into here, and if we're really bullish, like they'll want to do that, right? They'll want to come in and take this liquidity down here. Like it's just, it's begging to be taken. The thing is, so the ES came into this breaker that I had marked out, and it came into the block and it refilled the 50% gap. But when you look at like normal exchanges like FXCM and stuff like that, we did come higher. We did come into this liquidity area. What are the implications of that? I don't really know. I don't know if this is them making a case for it being bearish and it's actually not. But all I can say is that the CME came into that area, and it got somewhat of a reaction. It seems to not be finished with it, as far as I can see, with this curve. In the same way that the ES built this curve here, and it was very drastic. Like they were really tempting like swing traders, I think, to go short here and like put their stop here, right? But we saw after news they created these equal highs, and man, it didn't even wait, it just like went straight for them. So yeah, it's a lot of inducement going on, I think, at the moment. And they didn't even stop there. It just, like, this to me just seems like one hell of a squeeze, right? This PA to me just doesn't look, I don't know, man, this doesn't look really healthy to me. Now, like, money flow did pick up, which I was honestly a bit surprised about. I was surprised that from this point here, especially on days with like Asian bank holiday and US bank holiday, that money came like this. I was surprised. It caught me off guard. But when we zoom out, we get a kind of a sobering view at money flow and what it's doing. And like, these are higher time frames. These are bigger time frames. Like they can take a week to play out. So my bearish worries, I guess, or bearish caution, extends over a while, right? I can see us coming back up into here, into this area, in today, right? Did I? I think I actually got in a long. I don't know, it might have gotten filled. Maybe. I'm playing internal narrative now. Whether they just keep coming down for US, I don't know. It depends what US wants to do. But yeah, all I'm saying is these kind of this cautious view can still be in play while other internal things are going on, right? So this cautious view, I think, for me, extends over the next couple of weeks, really. Now, it's halfway through October. I know we have like US elections and stuff coming up in November, I believe. I actually don't know when. Exactly. I'll have to look that up. But that'll definitely be a catalyst for volatility, I think, and kind of unsure price action, right? So what they're doing here over the past few weeks, like, very much could be building kind of violent pockets of liquidity just in case they need it for US in a while. But that's a while away. Like, those are weeks away. I still would be cautious of these areas. And actually, if anything, if it came into here and created some nice PA, I would not mind trading, coming back into this range. I would really like that. A lot of opportunity, I think, in here to get some pretty nice trades. But where we are right now, like, yeah, it is a bit. It's a bit difficult to be very confident, personally, on what exactly they're doing. There's signs everywhere. They keep pushing up, but building kind of arguable liquidity, and yeah, just being cautious. So today for the rest of UK, if they break down here, then obviously US will be the deciding factor on what they're going to do. If they push up here, I could see them taking the Asian high and this liquidity into US open, right? We are in the US's initial balance for this area, or for Friday, right? For yesterday. And we are above this gap, so they could be just playing inducement on this gap to get orders filled, and US does like to come down into their gaps, towards the start of the sessions and transact around there, right? So there is a chance that that's an old tool. There is a chance that UK just facilitates US's open and comes down into this gap, definitely. So yeah, is there anything interesting? Like, this liquidity is damning, right? Whether they just break straight down or they come up first and then whip it down, I don't know. But on both the ES and the NQ, like, I know it's it's just an uptrend, but I mean it doesn't look like the healthiest. It doesn't look like the healthiest to me, especially from the beginning. This is, yeah. So be cautious if we start breaking like a significant structure. Coming out of this range and taking some liquidity and coming out of this consolidation we have up here. I would not be surprised if the past week is on the cards. But hey, they could say F you to that and just keep pushing it up. Yeah, that seems like my 2 cents at the moment. Just be careful. Be careful with US Open. It could get pulled, and I think there might be news today. Let's have a look. There isn't. This Empire State Manufacturing Index is today, so that's interesting. Okay, we could get a bit more of a civilized, I guess, a civilized U.S. session, right? So there's definitely a chance that UK comes up, I think, to take the Asian highs and let US decide what it wants to do. But yeah, just keep in mind, guys, like where we are, the objectives that have been completed by the market makers and the institutions, right? Like those huge orders have been filled that we've been looking at for a while. The gaps have been filled 50%. We left a lot below us. It does make sense that they could start filling to the downside now, especially with all this liquidity built here. So just be aware that you can still take trades, counter, like my idea for a little long here, I probably got filled around here. My idea for a little long up to here is still within the context of me being worried about the overall environment, right? So you just gotta be cautious, always, I think, personally, as a trader. But just be aware of the overarching narratives that could be building, right? So yeah, that's it today. This is my first time back at the charts in a couple of days, and yeah, those are my 2 cents. Yeah, happy trading, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.